So, what's behind the TikTok ban? Well, I don't know who these two guys are, but they can explain it better. It's about 2 minutes and 53 seconds, and then I'll get to you guys after it's done.
I think this is the biggest bait and switch that Washington, the central government, has ever tried to pull on us. Everybody thinks that they're just trying to ban TikTok from operating in the U.S. And if that's all they did, then I think the bill would be supported by most Americans. But that's not what they're doing. They're not restricting TikTok. They're restricting us.
That's not the goal here. Yeah. What a bait and switch.
It's a huge bait and switch. And so just so you know, what the act provides is that a U.S. citizen using a VPN to access TikTok could theoretically be subjected to a maximum penalty of $1 million in fines or 20 years in prison or both. Now, they'll say, Mark Warner, the sponsor of the legislation, will swear up and down that's not the intent. But the problem is that the language of the bill is so vague that some clever prosecutor may want to pursue this theory one day, and that needs to be stopped. Also, there's another problem with the bill, which is you think this is just about TikTok. It's not. What they do is, it says here, I guess they don't want to mention TikTok by name, so they're trying to create a category of threatening application. But because it is a category, it's very, very broad. So the bill states that it covers any transaction, not just an app, in which an entity described in subparagraph B has any interest. And then entities described in subparagraph B are, quote, a foreign adversary, an entity subject to the jurisdiction of or organized under the laws of a foreign adversary, an entity owned, directed, or controlled by either of these. And then it gives the executive branch the power to name a foreign adversary, any foreign government regime that one of the cabinet secretaries defines without any vote of Congress. So this is giving sweeping powers to the executive branch to declare foreign companies to be enemies.
This feels like the plot of the prequels in Star Wars.
Well,
Emergency
like
powers, here we go.
we criticize China for having a great firewall. What do you think this is?
Yeah, I mean, this should obviously have nothing to do with the American consumer and everything to do with the foreign adversary collecting data of Americans at scale. This could be written in a much simpler way.
Yeah, you know what it should be? It should be one sentence, which is that app stores are prohibited from allowing TikTok to be an app in their store. That's what they do in India. That's it. Yeah. Case closed. Yeah. Game over.
I think India's doing okay, right? They block like 100 Chinese apps, and I think their society's still functioning. So, all due respect to AOC, like the idea that 150 million Americans are going to suffer because they can't be tracked by the CCP is kind of nuts.
This is going to give sweeping powers to the security state to surveil us, to prosecute us, to limit our internet usage. This is basically the biggest power grab and bait and switch they've ever tried to pull on us. And again, if they really were concerned about TikTok, it's one sentence.
So some of you may be old enough or my age to remember 9/11 and the Patriot Act. Basically, the Patriot Act gave the government, FBI, CIA, sweeping powers to tap into people's phones, emails, and to basically spy on all your shit because we're scared of terrorists. That our own agencies let terror operatives in to attack our shit. Presumably, of course, we have to say presumably and protect our ass here on this shitty bullshit state-sponsored horseshit platform of YouTube. But yeah, basically the first 2 minutes and 53 seconds, what this bill is TikTok ban is essentially the Patriot Act for the internet. And if this goes through, you'd probably chances are it won't ever go away. Same thing with the Patriot Act. Yes, the Patriot Act was something that was supposed to be temporary, but yet it goes on to this day. You probably, when you're like ERPing or sending private messages to your loved ones, family, lovers, or whatever the situation may be, there's probably an FBI agent, stroking his sausage or slapping the taco over it. Now, of course, FBI has ethics and internal affairs, but yeah, we all know what's going on. They're spying your shit. They're reading all your most private messages, unless if you have WhatsApp or Telegram, something that's encoded. but even that, if the government wants something bad enough, they'll fucking get it, regardless if it's open-ended, encrypted, or not. But yeah, this is the Patriot Act for the internet. And if the one point I want to highlight is the $1 million, over $1 million in fines and 20 years in prison and/or both. So basically, this also, if we rewind the clock to ancient Rome, for those of you who don't know, there was a Caesar. Now, how this guy became ultimate tyrant over the Republic was he said, "Give me emergency powers, and I'll give it back when the problem and crisis has averted." Sound familiar? Yeah, it's the same playbook. America is basically just a carbon copy of Rome. It wasn't designed to be like that. America wasn't designed to be a 21st century like hellscape Rome, but it has become so, both with, ethical shit going on, the central government, our own security agencies wanting to oppress us in the name of stopping them damn dirty Reds in China. But yeah, it also points to corruption. Our government is so corrupt and broken that they want to pass bills and legislation that would require you to pay over $1 million in fine and or 20 years in prison. See, this solves two problems. It keeps you in debt and you're in fucking prison. Now, of course, there's a lot of people who use VPNs, and I highly doubt they can throw everyone in jail. But you see, the thing is... it's just bad. It's the Patriot Act for the internet. And if you can, contact your senators, call your mama, call your grandmother, and get anyone and everyone you can to push back on this, because the day may very well come where we're literally, was that Orwell's? No, not Orwell. The 1984, where we're living in a security state. We're practically like quarter of the way now currently with the Patriot Act and all this other horse shit. But yeah, it's the TikTok ban. It has nothing to do with TikTok, has nothing to do with protecting children or Americans from red Chinese aggression. It has to do with a group of worse people, politicians in our own government, oppressing you. So the ironic thing is the Chinese are less of a threat. Well, we're on YouTube here, and of course, even in this country that's free and liberty and freedom of speech and democratic republic, we still have to watch our what we say. But you get my drift. That I'm more scared of our own government than I am of red Chinese, communists, or Russians at this point. And if this shit goes through, believe you me, it's not going to be a temporary fix. And the line of tyranny and oppression in the name of your safety and security is going to keep being moved and moved and moved till you basically have universal basic income, and they have you in a 3x5 prison with a bunk bed and a cellmate. And then you won't be able to fart without government permission. But yeah, the longer I see this democratic republic roll along, the more and more I just see ancient Rome and its folly, and it's following the same footsteps, essentially. So watch your ass, and please inform people that this TikTok ban is not about protecting us from red Chinese aggression or foreign influence by apps on your crappy phone. Phones, mind you, even this Motorola, that's foreign made in China. And that's one thing I also want to chime in here, this long ass video, is how is an app? Okay, so if we have to apply the same logic to apps and like foreign influence by apps and apps on the phone, we have to consider that. Who makes iPhones? Can you guys guess? Can you guys guess? Anyone know something that's equally fucking funny? This is no bullshit. I just remembered this weird little factoid that's up in this beautiful mind of mine. You know, our YF-22 Raptors are stealth fighters, and YF-32s, the advancement and epitome of like technological warfare. Are you aware that chips Chinese made are in the most advanced fighter. So when your government talks to you about foreign influence on a shitty app, just remember that these are the same people who allows China to put chips, software, and other foreign groups in our like advanced fighter aircraft, in our aerospace. This is the kind of like mental retardation that I'm having trouble grasping even after like post editing. That can't make up. This is, anyways. Back to the video. China, Huawei, right? They make all the chips. They make all the phones. Even I think my shitty Motorola here is foreign made. I don't know, it's Japanese or some Southeast Asian, hellscape where they can have, people in factories and like forced labor their ass and have suicide nets. Look that shit up, by the way, to make your shitty phone. That's not foreign influence. So it's just you can already see the hypocrisy here. It's not foreign influence for them to make our fucking phones, our shitty technology, our Tesla cars, but all of a sudden it's foreign influence when you access TikTok. Right, you can already see the cracks of hypocrisy here. But as long as it's, them, it's okay because senators know better and they know the enemy. And that was their reasoning back in 1930s. To rewind the clock a little bit, 1930s senators, and I think it's Franklin Delano Roosevelt, that piece of shit, banned private use of gold ownership for Americans. But they didn't ban it for themselves because they knew better and they know who the enemy was. So, and basically, a lot of those people got rich off that bullshit. So basically, what we have essentially is a group of plutocratic, just old geezers that clamor for power. Their god is money, and they'll steamroll you, your rights, your liberty, your freedom. And look. I'll say this here. TikTok, I think, is the stupidest fucking app. I go to YouTube Shorts, and I literally want to eat my microphone. And it's just bad. Shorts is terrible, but yeah, TikTok is worse. But although I'm for if people want to post stupid ass videos on TikTok, I don't have a problem with it because that's their freedom to do so, even if it is listening in on their shitty conversations. But again, there's another crux here. So we're supposed to be afraid and angry when China listens into us, but not afraid and angry when our own government does it. With Chinese-made phones. These people have rule over us. Doesn't that blow your mind? It does me. Anyways, so prepare for tyranny and oppression if this bill does get passed, because our senators and congressmen are literally retarded. And our president, quite frankly, shits his pants. And that's not a good combo, ladies and gentlemen. So the future is looking bright, but probably by like nuclear or like thermonuclear war, that's probably the bright future you're seeing. But yeah, it's all horseshit. It's a ploy. It's like the guy said in the video, it's a bait and fucking switch. They're gonna. Oh man. Let's just hope. The American people make enough ruckus about it. Like I said, contact your senator, contact your grandma, your mom, dad, brothers, sisters, and just tell them that this TikTok ban is bullshit and it's a Patriot Act for the internet, and it needs to be stopped. Not only for private citizens' knowledge is power, and basically for us to speak our mind and to basically just enjoy our stupid Chinese-made horseshit and apps. Even if it does spy on us, which again, isn't it fucking hilarious how we're supposed to be angry when China does it, but supposed to be all like mild-mannered and happy when our own government does it. It's just a conundrum on top of conundrum, hypocrisy on top of hypocrisy. And I probably went on too much. This has been a 9-minute long video, which I highly doubt anyone watched this far into it. But if you did, thank you. You're awesome. Thank you. And see you guys next time. Watch your ass out there, because it's getting pretty dark and tyrannical.